You know how sometimes just a simple drive, it feels like it turns into something? More? Where the scenery seems to whisper stories, and every little town you pass through has its own, like, fascinating chapter.
Absolutely. That's exactly the feeling we're chasing today.
Today, we're setting out on that kind of journey. We're doing a deep dive into the highway drive that connects Lakeland to Stillwater and then winds its way north up to Taylor Falls right here in Minnesota.
Right. And this isn't just about the road itself, the asphalt. It's really about the landscape it cuts through. A landscape shaped really profoundly by the St. Croix River.
The St. Croix, yeah.
I mean, this river's been everything. A lifeline, a border, a source of just incredible beauty for centuries. We've really dug into all sorts of sources, historical accounts, local travel guides, you name it, to get a real sense of what makes this particular route so special.
So our mission today is to go beyond, the standard travel guide stuff. We want to uncover those hidden gems, the echoes of history, the natural wonders that are just waiting for anyone who takes this drive. Think of this as your sort of insider's guide, turning a pleasant road trip into a real exploration.
Couldn't have said it better.
So let's get rolling, shall we? Our starting point. The charming town of Lakeland.
Lakeland. Okay, so it's nestled there in Washington County, and it's our southern starting point for the St. Croix Scenic Byway.
Oh.
It's really the first taste you get of the beauty and the history that this whole designated route offers as we head north.
The St. Croix Scenic Byway.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty official. Like there's a real significance to the specific stretch of road. What's the story there?
Well, the drive we're focusing on today, Lakeland up to Taylor Falls, that's a really key part of this bigger byway.
Okay.
But the St. Croix Scenic Byway itself actually stretches quite a bit further. It winds all the way through Washington, Chisago, and even Pine counties. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how it's divided into these distinct historical districts. Each one sort of reflects a different era or a different aspect of the region's past.
Interesting.
And our route, the one we're talking about today, mostly follows the Immigrant Trail district.
Immigrant Trail. Wow, that name alone, it tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the significance behind that?
Well, Minnesota Highway 95, which is the road we'll be on for a lot of this journey.
Right.
It's also officially known as the Immigrant Trail. And this wasn't just some, poetic name they came up with.
Okay.
Back in the 19th century, this general route, maybe not the exact paved road, but this corridor, was absolutely crucial for countless European settlers who were venturing into the St. Croix Valley to build new lives.
Wow. Really retracing history then.
Totally. I mean, you have to imagine these early settlers probably traveling on foot, maybe by wagon, using the river as their natural guide, and this very route to access what they hoped would be, fertile land and opportunity. The challenges they must have faced, the hopes they carried. It feels almost palpable when you think about their journey along this very path we're driving. So yeah, in a very real sense, we'll be retracing their footsteps.
That definitely changes how you look at just a highway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that historical backdrop kind of set, we head north from Lakeland, following this Immigrant Trail, and our next major stop is the town that gets a lot of praise, Stillwater.
Oh, Stillwater, yeah. It absolutely lives up to its reputation. Our sources were full of accolades, like being named a top 5 Midwest town to visit now, and even making a Forbes list of top 10 prettiest towns in America.
Wow, Forbes.
Yeah, and when you get there, you totally see why. The setting is just breathtaking. It's perched right on the scenic banks of the St. Croix, and you have these dramatic bluffs rising up, creating this stunning sort of natural amphitheater around the town.
So beyond just looking pretty, what are the must-do things in Stillwater? The things that really let you connect with the town and its surroundings?
Well, there are so many ways to really immerse yourself in Stillwater's charm. A really classic experience is taking a boat cruise right there on the St. Croix.
Ah, yeah.
It just gives you a completely different perspective on the town's architecture, those impressive bluffs framing the river. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Trolley tours are another really popular option. They usually give you a narrated journey through the town's history, pointing out key landmarks.
Like a history lesson on wheels.
Exactly. And then, of course, you've got the heart of Stillwater. It's historic Main Street.
Historic Main Street. That's usually where you get the real feel for a place, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just this vibrant street lined with, I think the number is over 100 independently owned shops and restaurants.
Over 100, wow.
Yeah, each one with its own unique flair. You could seriously spend hours just wandering in and out of the boutiques, the antique shops, the art galleries.
Dangerous for the wallet.
Could be. And when it comes to food, Stillwater really shines, especially if you like eating outdoors. Al fresco dining.
Oh, al fresco dining with a view. That sounds perfect for soaking in the atmosphere. Tell us about some of the standout patios there.
Okay, yeah, you have some fantastic choices, each with its own sort of vibe. Brick and Bourbon has this really stylish rooftop patio, great views of the St. Croix.
Rooftop,
Then
nice.
Nacho Mama's, it offers a more intimate, colorful experience with its patio tucked away in an alleyway. Kind of cool.
Huh.
Papa's Rooftop at the Water Street Inn. That one gives you these amazing, sweeping, panoramic views of the river. Imagine having a local beer up there after, say, a bike ride.
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
The Freight House, that one boasts what might be the largest outdoor deck right in downtown Stillwater. It practically hangs over the riverfront.
Oh,
And Portside also offers a rooftop setting with, again, great views looking out over the St. Croix.
that's quite a list already.
Hmm,
Any other patio gems maybe for different tastes or situations?
definitely. Fellow Restaurant has a really welcoming patio, and it's dog-friendly right on bustling Main Street.
Oh, dog-friendly. Good to know.
Yeah. Matchstick Grill has this really cool indoor-outdoor feel with these huge doors that open up their dining space right to the fresh air.
Oh, neat.
And Charlie's Irish Pub has this lovely glass-enclosed patio. So, you can enjoy those river views in comfort no matter what the Minnesota weather is up to.
Very practical. Okay, my mental itinerary is definitely filling up. But beyond the great food and views, what about actual attractions? Things to see in or really close to Stillwater?
Okay, just a short drive outside of Stillwater, there's the intriguing Fairy Falls Trail. Now, this spot has a bit of a story.
Oh,
It's managed by the National Park Service, the NPS, and it's known for its natural beauty. Deep ravines, surprisingly steep hills, mature woods, and of course the waterfall itself.
sounds lovely.
It is, but it's important to know. The trail was actually closed for a while due to safety concerns. It has reopened, but with a heads up that it's not currently getting active maintenance.
Ah, okay. So
Uh-oh.
proceed with caution.
Exactly. If you decide to explore it, just be careful. Some of the spur trails off the main path can be quite steep, and the ground can be uneven, so, wear good shoes.
Good tip. Thanks for that heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an off-the-beaten-path adventure, but requires some mindful exploring. What about some more easily accessible outdoor spots?
Yeah, for sure. For more leisurely outdoor time, there's Pioneer Park. It offers truly stunning panoramic views of the whole St. Croix River Valley. Really beautiful photo op.
Right.
And if you happen to be traveling with kids, Teddy Bear Park is an absolute must visit. It's this delightful playground, just really charming and fun.
Teddy Bear Park. I love that name.
It's great. And for those of us with a bit of a sweet tooth,
Oh,
a visit to Tremblay's Sweet Shop or Candyland is like stepping back into an old-fashioned candy store. Just walls of candy. And then Leo's Grill and Malt Shop is the classic spot for ice cream treats, malts, that kind of thing.
perfect little moments of indulgence during the trip.
Mm.
And I think I saw mentions of orchards nearby, too. That sounds like a nice change of pace.
Yes. Amott's Apple Farm, which actually has its own vineyard too, and Afton Apple Orchard are both just a short scenic drive from Stillwater.
Okay.
Depending on the season, you can pick your own fruit, grab some fresh cider, just enjoy the whole orchard atmosphere.
Nice.
And if you happen to be visiting in the fall, Extall's Garden Farm and Country Sun Farm are fantastic places to find pumpkins and all the other fall harvest goodies.
It really sounds like Stillwater and its immediate area offer just a ton of experiences. Enough for a full day, maybe even a weekend trip on its own.
Easily.
Okay, so let's talk about the next part of our journey. The drive itself from Stillwater up to our final destination, Taylor Falls.
Right. So the direct drive, it's pretty manageable. It's about 30 scenic miles, give or take, and
Yeah.
probably takes around 45 to 50 minutes if you don't stop.
Okay, not too long.
Yeah. Our sources mention some potential points of interest along the way, although honestly, many of them were a bit further out or actually in the opposite direction for our specific northbound journey.
Right.
Interestingly, though, one local contributor on Reddit actually suggested doing the drive the other way south from Taylor's Falls down to Stillwater.
Oh, why is that?
They highlighted the Minnesota side of the river in that specific stretch as being especially picturesque. Mentioned charming barns, and I think their exact words were plenty of moo-moos to admire.
Moo-moos.
Oh.
Always appreciate those local tips. So while the immediate route might be more about just taking in the scenery as it unfolds, the drive itself is definitely part of the experience. Okay, let's turn our focus now to Taylor Falls, a town often called the gateway to the Northwoods. That name really conjures up a sense of natural beauty, maybe a bit ruggedness.
Taylor Falls absolutely lives up to that name. It's a smaller town for sure, but it's a really popular destination. Lots of day trippers, but also people looking for a longer getaway. And it's largely because of its, well, stunning natural beauty and its deep roots in the lumber industry history. Its location is key too, right on the banks of the St. Croix River, bordering Wisconsin and still conveniently close to the Twin Cities. Makes it super accessible for exploring.
Gateway to the Northwoods.
Yeah.
It sets an expectation for some pretty dramatic landscapes. Does Taylor Falls deliver on that?
Oh, absolutely. The geology around Taylor Falls in the Upper St. Croix Valley, it's truly remarkable. You're immediately hit by this dramatic, scenic gorge the river has carved out.
Right.
And it exposes these ancient cliff rocks. They're actually remnants of massive prehistoric volcanic eruptions. They're called flood basalts.
Flood basalts, like lava flows.
Exactly. Immense flows of lava that cooled and solidified millions and millions of years ago. And the landscape is also shaped by these really fascinating glacial features, things like deep potholes, moraine deposits, which is basically the rocky debris left behind when the huge glaciers retreated. There's even something called the Wellness Esker, which is this long, winding ridge formed by glacial meltwater streams. These aren't just random bumps and holes. They tell this incredible story of the immense forces that shaped this whole region over geological time.
You mentioned glacial potholes. That sounds pretty unique. Can you tell us more about those?
They are truly something else. Interstate Park, which actually straddles the Minnesota-Wisconsin state line right there at Taylor Falls. It's famous for its incredible collection of these glacial potholes.
Interstate Park, okay.
The sheer number of them and how deep they are, it's astounding. Some of them plunge down almost 70 feet.
70 feet. Seriously.
Seriously. In fact, our research suggests this is the largest concentration of these kinds of geological features in the entire U.S. There's only one other comparable site known in the whole world, apparently, over in Switzerland.
That's incredible. How did they even form?
It wasn't just simple water erosion. They were created by this powerful swirling, think of whirlpools within the melting glaciers, carrying rocks and sand and gravel, and these acted like drills, basically grinding these cylindrical holes right into the solid bedrock over thousands of years.
Wow, a natural wonder of global significance right
Yeah,
there. Amazing. Okay, beyond the geology, what about the human history? What's unfolded around Taylor Falls over the centuries?
Well, the area has a really rich, layered history. For instance, this region was the site of a really significant conflict, the Battle of Kathio.
Okay.
It was a pivotal battle between the Ojibwe and the Dakota tribes, and it ultimately led to the Ojibwe gaining control of this territory. That really influenced the tribal presence you see in the area afterward. And the St. Croix River itself, it holds this history in its names. It's been called different things by the different peoples who lived along its banks. You know, the French called it Rivière Trombeau and later Rivière de Saint Croix.
Right.
Then you have various Ojibwe names like Gichizibi, which means big river, and others that reflect the resources found there, like Manuminakeshan Zibi, Wild Rice River.
Fascinating.
It was even noted briefly as the Chippewa River on some early maps. It just highlights the complex interactions and different ways groups understood and named the region.
It's amazing how much history is just woven into the names of the land and water. What other historical significance does Taylor Falls hold?
Well, during the big logging boom of the 19th century, Taylor Falls had this really strategic position. It was the northernmost point on the St. Croix River that steamboats could actually reach.
Ah, the end of the line for steamboats.
Exactly. So that made it a crucial hub for floating timber downstream, and naturally it attracted a whole wave of entrepreneurs and businesses. That led to the town's major growth and development during that era. You can still see echoes of that industry's past in the town's architecture and historical sites today.
Speaking of historical sites, are there specific buildings or landmarks in Taylor Falls that really give you a glimpse into that past?
Oh, absolutely. The Folsom House is a beautifully preserved example. It was the grand home of W.H.C. Folsom.
Folsom, okay.
He was a really prominent, influential lumberman back in the 19th century, played a big role in the region's development. And the house itself is this striking example of Greek revival architecture.
The Greek Revival, okay.
And interestingly, as you just walk around Taylor Falls, you'll notice other architectural styles, too, reflecting different periods, like the Gothic revival design of the Taylor Falls Public Library.
Oh, cool.
And the charming craftsman and shingle styles you see in the Taylor Falls Depot, which is now the Memorial Community Center. These buildings are kind of like little time capsules, each telling a piece of the town's story.
A real architectural walk through time. Now, I think I came across something about a rather unique, maybe slightly spooky place to stay.
Huh, yes. You must mean the Taylor's Falls Saloon and Jailhouse. It has quite the history.
Tell me more.
Okay, so it originally opened as a saloon way back in 1869. And apparently, it even featured an intriguing indoor cave.
An indoor cave in a saloon.
Right. Then later, they added living quarters, and in 1884, they built a jailhouse right next door.
Okay.
And today, the original jail cells, complete with their big, imposing iron doors, they're still intact. And the property now operates as the old jail bed and breakfast.
You can sleep in the old jail cells.
You can. Talk about a truly memorable and maybe slightly eerie place to spend the night. Imagine sleeping right there in a piece of local history.
An indoor cave and original jail cells.
Sure.
Definitely a conversation starter. What about more traditional attractions in Taylor Falls that showcase its natural beauty?
Well, like we talked about, Interstate Park is the huge draw with its geology, but it also offers just breathtaking clifftop views of the St. Croix River Gorge. Just majestic.
Right.
Plus, it has a variety of hiking trails for different fitness levels, some opportunities for rock climbing if you're into that.
Okay.
And you can also get out on the river itself. Canoeing or kayaking gives you a totally different perspective, looking up at the Dalles, those cliffs.
That sounds amazing.
And to really appreciate the scale and beauty of the River Gorge, I highly recommend taking one of the scenic boat tours on the St. Croix.
The paddle boats.
Yeah, those classic paddle wheel boats. The narrated tours not only give you incredible views of the unique rock formations, but they also share really fascinating historical details about the river and the area.
Sounds like a fantastic way to soak it all in.
Yeah.
Are there any other cool attractions really close by, just outside Taylor Falls?
Yeah, just a few miles south of Taylor Falls, you'll find the Franconia Sculpture Park. It's this really unique 50-acre outdoor art museum.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's an amazing experience. You just wander among this diverse collection of large-scale, often really thought-provoking contemporary sculptures, all set against the natural landscape. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And if you're looking for something with a bit more action or adrenaline, Wild Mountain offers year-round activities. They've got a water park and go-karts in the summer.
Huh.
And then skiing and snow tubing when the snow flies in the winter.
So, something for every season there. Great. Yeah. From art and culture to outdoor adventure. What about food? When it's time to refuel after all that exploring in and around Taylor Falls, any local dining spots we should know?
Yeah, you've got some great local favorites. The Drive-In is a classic. It's a 1950s themed diner, and they're particularly famous for their root beer floats.
Ooh, a good root beer float. Can't beat that.
Right. Perfect nostalgic treat. Then Romaine's and the Goat Saloon are both popular spots right downtown, offering more of a traditional pub and restaurant feel.
Okay.
And it's worth remembering the charming town of St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, which has its own shops and restaurants, is literally just a 2-minute drive across the bridge from downtown Taylor Falls. So that opens up even more options.
Oh, cross-state dining. Good
Yeah.
point. What about venturing just a tiny bit further out from Taylor Falls? Any nearby gems worth mentioning?
Yes, absolutely. In the nearby town of Osceola, Wisconsin, just a short drive away, you can find the really picturesque Cascade Falls. It's this lovely waterfall cascading down through a scenic ravine. Very pretty. And for a relaxing trip back in time, the Osceola and St. Croix Valley Railway offers these delightful scenic train rides. They run vintage trains, and the ride is apparently particularly stunning during the fall colors.
Oh, a fall color train ride. That sounds fantastic. Okay, we've covered so much things to see, things to do along this route. What about places to stay if people want to extend their trip? We heard about the memorable old jail B&B. Any other lodging options in the Taylor Falls area?
Definitely. Beyond the unforgettable jailhouse experience, there's Dresser Farm. It's located just outside Taylor Falls, and it offers a really wonderful, family-friendly stay right on a working farm. Beautiful rolling landscapes there.
Well, that sounds nice and wholesome.
Yeah. And for those looking for a more immersive nature experience, right along the St. Croix River itself, the Wilder Bell Tent provides this unique sort of glamping option.
Glamping. Okay.
Yeah, very popular now. And the Writer's Cabin is another charming retreat, also nestled along the river. Offers a peaceful, secluded escape if you're really looking to unplug and just connect with nature.
Glamping by the St. Croix. That sounds incredibly appealing. Okay, so as we think about planning this drive, are there particular times of year that really stand out? When does this route truly shine?
Our sources, and especially those local voices on Reddit, definitely highlight the fall season. It seems to be an exceptionally popular time to experience this drive.
The fall colors, I bet.
Exactly. The autumn foliage along the St. Croix River is said to be just absolutely breathtaking, painting the whole landscape in these vibrant reds, oranges, golds. People really recommended planning a trip specifically to see that spectacle.
Makes sense.
And you can even enhance the experience, like we mentioned, by taking one of those leaf peeping tours on the paddle boats in Taylor Falls. Gives you that stunning perspective right from the water.
Right.
And we also noted, Wild Mountain has its different seasonal activities, summer versus winter. And the guided tours of the historic Folsom House, those are seasonal too, running basically January through September.
So it really sounds like the Lakeland to Stillwater to Taylor Falls Drive offers a unique charm pretty much any time of year, but maybe autumn is when it puts on its absolute best show.
I think that's fair to say, yeah. It's a route that just beautifully captures the diverse character of this really captivating part of Minnesota. You get the tranquil beauty of the St. Croix, the rich layers of history you find in each of these charming towns, and then those truly remarkable geological formations that define the landscape up around Taylor Falls.
It's so clear, talking through this, that it's far more than just a way to get from A to B, isn't it? It's a genuine journey through both time and nature. For anyone looking to kind of escape the everyday and uncover some really special places, this stretch of the St. Croix Scenic Byway sounds like an absolutely fantastic option.
Without a doubt. I mean, whether your interests are in exploring charming historic downtowns or just soaking in breathtaking river views or maybe digging into fascinating local history or even marveling at unique natural wonders, this route truly offers something for pretty much everyone. It really encourages you to slow down, to explore with curiosity and just appreciate the rich tapestry of stories that are etched into this remarkable landscape.
Thinking about that incredible geological history of the St. Croix Valley, from those ancient volcanic flows we talked about to the dramatic carvings left by the glaciers, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other untold stories might still be hidden within this landscape, just waiting for curious explorers like us to maybe discover them on a drive like this?